was that and was handed. Just a little info, right? Just a little bit. Nevertheless, you know, and I don't know, why, and I don't really examine the why shit so much. All right. Nevertheless, I don't listen to a lot of the information that floats in the ethers, you know what I'm saying, that pops up on streams trying to tell us about this, that, and the other. But I'm not saying to no one to stop what you're doing because it's informative in a manner, all right, in a way, all right, in its own way, and your connection to it. Great. Do your thing. That's what I keep saying. Do your thing. Don't worry about if everybody is on the same accord. Actually, they are on the same accord because they are just different branches of a tree. Now, it's pear trees, apple trees, and things of that nature, and different types of herbage and fruits and vegetables that grow along a vine. They are all connected. You never diminish someone's integrity or his wisdom because it is just on a separate vine or a different tree. Nevertheless, let's go into electricity real quick. I'm just going to spark the mind, right? That's all we can ever do to anyone, Now, anyway, electricity. If you're running house current 110, right? If you got 110 on this side, 110, well, a positive and negative, first of all, right? House current is 110 volts. So you have a negative and a positive. That negative has to agree to the 110 voltage of the positive. Now, if you got your dryer and shit, it'll be running like 220 with a negative and a positive. The negative have to agree to the 220 voltage of the positive. The positive can't be 220 and the negative got to be 60. No, it can't. It would not run like that. What I'm saying is equal and opposite sides to the power spectrum of any frequency. All right, positive and negative sides to it. Now, if you're doing good, you already know. Let's just say, for illustration, you're on the positive side, but the negative is going to equal that shit. See what I'm saying? Your negativity, or now negative is the great part about it. The great part about it. That's where the lessons come in the negative, because in the negative, right? They say in the red, or they can say in the black. They can say all this type of shit, but nevertheless, it's still coded and worded up. But only coded for higher instructions. You know what I mean? And not necessarily observed or known to the one who's bringing forth. All right, period. You know what I'm saying? That's how the hieroglyphic goes. But nevertheless, it has to equal out. All right. Now, equality in this way, I won't say a balance. All right, I won't say a balance because a balance can be all types of different things. In order to get the adjustment that you wish, like an equalizer. If you balancing out the way you want, you already know all types of little spectrums of wave patterns is adjusted, right, to how you would like the sound. Now, somebody else might say, well, hey, you got a lot of highs in there, and where is his toms at? Where is the toms? You know what I'm saying? Turn my toms up, or turn the the bass down, or turn the bass up. Okay, equalization, manifestation, your thing, our thing. We do things, all right? Now, but when it comes down to the power that's running with it, all right, the power has to equal out. Now, let's say you're running 440. You got a wood shop or a welding shop or some shit, and you just happen to be running 440. You got a damn near small factory or some shit. Now, you understand that it's going to equal out. It has to equal out, right? 440 negative, 440 positive, right? Now, let's go in the biochemical lab, right? Hold on. Let's go into the biochemical lab real quick, right? Now, the biochemical, when we think about certain things or do certain things, then we have a positive and a negative also examining for examination if we want to look there. Nevertheless, so at the same time, we At the same time, exact time that we formulate any types of structures to do whatever it is we would like to do, they will come about. But it'll also be a negative side to that point of reference. All right. And but the best thing about it is the negative, as we was told in math a long time ago, you know, in a certain way, negatives can be turned to positives. Well, check this out. Negative on an atom jumps its orbit. It's the only one that can jump its orbit. So it becomes excited and it can jump its orbit. But by it changing, makes a photon. It makes a light. We say memory. The negative electron also holds the memory, right? They knew a long time ago that the negative electron holds the memory, and it was the brain and not the nucleus. The nucleus is not the brain of the cell. We are all cells, but the nucleus is not the brain. What did they say? They told us a long time. We knew it's that they called it the cell walls. What do they call the cell walls? The outer walls of the cell. They call it the membrane. They've been calling it the membrane. But these scientists thought that the brain or the computer was in the nucleus. That's bullshit, and that's incorrect just by its statement and it saying that the cell walls is the membrane. Now check this out. What is the membrane of your body? The largest skin, the largest organ, membrane. The membrane. Can that be the brain? Or is this the brain? Can this be the brain? Membrane. Can this hold the memory? Genetics, definitely. They can take this and hold memory and duplicate your ass, right? Right? Memory. Membrane. Brain, what is the brain? It's supposed to be copper, right? And carbon. Copper and carbon. What does that lead us to? It leads us to a whole lot of things, because in rhythm, in frequency, right, in energy, melanin doesn't need the brain to respond, correct? Membrane. It doesn't even, when you hear a beat, your brain don't tell you what to do. You all into the beat. Every little step of the beat, you can go right into it if you got this chemical, right? Right. Some don't have that chemical. So they can't go into the frequency and into crevices and into certain, modes of movement and mannerisms that brings forth the rhythm, right? It cannot be possible. It's more robotic and machinery-like, right? And they would have to use their brain. Okay, how you do that? You go like this, and they go like this, and they, go like, you would have to learn that type of shit, like reading a book or shit. You have to be told. Right? We have not to be told this shit. You do not biogenetically. You are already biogenetically informed, but the thing is, you are wide open because you can respond to anything and everything you see around you. That's why you must close doors and shut windows and push motherfuckers outside of your ability to create for your damn self. You must safeguard yourself. The fortress of solitude, you must stay there, for real, for real. If you would like to continue to do what you do, more power to you. If you would like to advance, you must first stop all the shit that you have utilized, and it has brought you nothing as close to what the fuck you want to do. You know that, right? So I'm just gonna actually leave it there. Keep you in the elevation of our thoughts away from this ignorance. It may be a lot of things going on, but you got to understand where I'm going to take you back to and take you straight to and take you directly through. The positive and the negative has to be there. See, it's a lot of people talking about the negative, but the best thing about it, it could jump the motherfucking orbits. And as it jumps the orbits from the negative talk of people, listen, how do they get us to mess up? Through fear tactics, right? They get us off our energy status, right? Off our energy status by causing us to think about fear and shit, right? Right? Okay. Well, if you're thinking about all the shit that they put in front of us, you know, all the king horses and all the king men and all that shit, if you're thinking on that level, it pauses you, it stops you, right? You won't be creative, you won't be able to do what you want to do, and you won't be able to give back to the energy of the cosmos trying to equal it out. It's 120 at 120, and it's 220 at 220, and it's 440 at 440. Not going to the biological state. See, everybody cannot panic. Everybody cannot be strapping up. What they say, boot up, suit up and boot up and do all this type of stuff. Yeah, everybody can't be suited up and booted up. You know what I mean? For real, for real. Just like in the Matrix. He said, why did you let the Nebuchadnezzar leave? He said, because I don't believe our survival depends on soldiers only. All right? Now, let that marinate. Keep it up. Do what you do. And be you. That's right. And we ain't all that. But we can become anything we need to be whenever it becomes time to become. Don't be frozen, stuck into a certain position that you refuse to change. And the change may be the best thing ever, because it is the only thing that stays constant. Right? All right. Peace to you all. And not just a little peace. I mean the peace that you got in the calm of the storm. All right.